started. I spoke with Vinny. He said he sent you a memo on Mianus River Road back in March, the final inspection. Do you want him to just copy you again on it?
I'll talk to Danielle's in, right?
She should be in today. Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk to Danielle.
Okay. But just tell her it was March. He sent the, I think it was March 8th.
Yeah.
All right, good morning, everyone. It's May 17th. We're going to start the RPRC meeting. The first item we have is 69 Windmill Road. I'm going to admit them to the meeting. All right, good morning, Richard and Jeff. You're up first with 69 Windmill Road. Richard, do you want to make?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Great. Do you want to take the committee through the project and?
Yes. We're doing a expansion of the second floor, but let me start with the front elevation. We have a traditional New England colonial with a porch in the front. To the right of the front door, between the garage and the main house.
Richard, you want to share your screen so we see what you're talking about?
Actually, I don't have anything on my screen.
Oh, okay. I can pull it up for you.
Yes.
So, all right, then I could just go through this with the board then.
Okay. I'm looking at the front drawing, A0, if you could put that up there.
This is
There we
pretty,
go.
yeah.
That's the drawing. That's very nice, that one.
Yeah. Yep, this does it.
Okay.
This really shows everything.
Yes. So let's start with the middle row, right-hand side. You see the existing front of the house. There is a porch which within the center portion of the main house. To the right, before we get to the garage, there is an existing porch. We're going to fill that porch in for a new home office. We're going to keep the footprint exactly the same. The roof line will remain exactly the same. We're just going to infill the walls, which you could see to the left of the picture rendering. Also on the front porch, we're going to extend that porch to the left into a bevel-shaped porch. That will extend the porch in front of the dining room so we could have indoor-outdoor dining. That is the only changes we're making to the exterior front.
Yeah, and they're really nice. Sue, you have
Yeah.
any concerns?
Not at all.
Yeah, it looks like a great project. I don't have any concerns other than Rob, if you want the health department or need the health department to look at what's going on interior.
Yeah, the only issue I saw in the interior was the office had a full bath and a
Right.
closet.
Exactly.
I would think that the health department's going to look at that as a bedroom.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
But from a site planning aspect and what we're looking at here, I think this looks really nice. So I'll make a motion to send this to the building department.
Second.
That was Rob. Okay. All in favor? Aye.
I,
All right. So you're off to the building department. Looks good. We'll post the letter of determination later today with the technical comments from the engineer and myself. And we'll go from there. Any questions?
No, thank you very much.
Great. Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have 19 Evergreen Row, and we do not have anyone here for this. Now, if the committee recalls, we've seen this property in front of us a few times already. So we're familiar with this. First, it was for some dangerous trees that had to be removed. Now the applicant is proposing a new fence. I don't have any major issues, but I'll bring up the plans for the committee to see. So what we're specifically talking about is 6-foot fence, black style, aluminum fence with a gate, and then a vinyl coated deer fence. And you could see it's going in this corner of the property. And on this side, just to close it to the side property line and meeting an existing fence here. The only comment I have is getting a detail of the fence.
Adam, can you just go back down to the fence for a second?
Yeah,
So between where it shows above the house, is that an open spot between the house where the driveway is?
you mean here?
No, the other side of the house.
Right, that's open. Mhm.
That's open.
Right, today it is, yes. So he's closing in this corner.
Right, no, but I'm talking about in the back of the driveway, right at the end. It looks like there's an open spot. Does that extend all the way to the house, the fence there?
You know, that might be a wall there. I don't recall. Yeah, I don't remember from being out there. I'm guessing either it's gonna attach here or there's a wall and he only needs to enclose this part. Any concerns?
On my end.
Okay. So other than getting the detail for each type of fence, I'll make a motion to send this to building.
Second.
That was Andy?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. All right. Next is 246. All right, Alyssa, you're with us for 246 Bedford Banksville Road. Alyssa, if you're ready, we're ready. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
Okay, hi, nice to meet you all.
Yep.
My name is Alyssa Manfredonia. I'm here from Tom Haynes's office representing our client Madeline Stillman for our projects at 246 Bedford Banksville Road.
Great.
I'm sure you're all familiar with the project. We're proposing a in-ground pool as well as a proposed pavilion in the rear yard, surrounded by a stone patio, including adding some retaining walls to.
Yeah, Alyssa, do you have the plans? You want to take the committee through it?
Yes, let me see. I'm sorry. I haven't yet become skillful in this Zoom.
Well, if you need help, I can put up the plans.
Yeah, or if you want to tell me, oh, share screen. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Okay. Let's see.
You're at, oh, there you go. Okay, we see it. We're coming. Yeah, perfect.
Okay, you're able to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, as you can see, we will be proposing around a 40-foot by 20-foot in-ground pool in the rear yard with a 7-by-7-foot spa. In addition to that, we'll be proposing a pavilion in the rear yard, as well as this is an existing patio, and we'll be extending off this patio to give access to the new pool deck. In addition to the new pool deck, we will also be proposing some retaining walls to work with the existing grades and work with the existing patio, as you can see along this area, as well as proposing some boulder walls behind the area to kind of enclose the space. Currently, the site does have some wetlands in the front, but we will not be doing any work within such boundaries. So let me see what else I could walk you through.
Yeah, I think that's good.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good explanation. You know, there is a significant change in topography back there. So what's the max height of these walls?
The max height of the walls, I believe, is, I think we stay right under that 6-foot mark.
Yeah, that
We don't
really
have
was my
any-
question. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely don't have anything going over 6 feet. That was our main, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if they're
Yeah.
over 4 feet, you're going to have those walls designed.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I briefly was just reading through, actually, before we started the meeting, some of the comments that you guys, that the planning department has brought up, as well as the engineering department. So I'm aware of the comments that were issued in regard to the project.
Okay. I did notice that there's a note saying you're going to apply for a tree removal permit later, but that should happen now, right? You need to-
Okay.
Yeah. So how many trees are coming out?
I'll be honest, I don't have that number right on the top of my head. I was not sure if the owner was filing for such, or if our office was, but we will apply for that permit now.
Right, but we need to deal with it now is really what I'm saying,
Oh, okay.
right? We're not going to give you the approval to build the pool without knowing, the trees that are coming down.
Okay.
So if you don't know the answer to that, I mean, you can come back with that information. We could, just not vote.
Oh, it's showing in the plan that there are definitely 2 trees in the pool.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
2 trees very close above it.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe that needs a little bit more thought.
Yeah. I mean, they'll definitely, it's looking like around 8 to 9 trees would be removed in
Okay.
the scope of work.
Yeah, and being out at the site, you might want to put some screening for the property at 242, right? Because now you're going to have this pool, all this activity back there, and some additional screening might make sense along that property line.
Okay.
We always do like to see at least 1-to-1 replacement for trees that you're taking down.
Yeah. And then we also have to deal with the pavilion. So it's a covered pavilion with a solid roof. So that's going to be considered floor area because the code talks about like porches that are capable of being enclosed in the future. I understand you're not enclosing it now, but they're capable in the future. So that has to be considered floor area. Unless, Rob, you think that this is open enough, we don't need to count this as floor area. Do you have any thought on that? I mean, there's definitely enough floor area available at the site where it's not going to be an issue, but if it is floor area because it's capable of being closed, you have to capture that in the gross floor area calculations worksheet.
Okay.
I mean, what have we done in the past for pavilions?
I don't think we really had pavilions that are just a roof, right? We've had open pergola style, where the roof is open and we have not counted those as floor area. Or we've had actual, maybe it's open on one or two sides. This one's open on all four. It's,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would consider it floor area.
yeah, okay.
I mean, it's far enough away from the house that,
I think that, yeah, that's a reasonable solution.
if it was just off the house or something, maybe that'd be a little bit different if it was attached to the house.
Yep,
But this is like down at the pool area, so.
yeah, okay,
And if it did get enclosed in, we would consider it at that point floor area, right?
correct, that's correct, yep. All right, so that one we put to bed, which is good.
Okay,
So,
great.
committee, we need to decide what you want to do. Do you want to see the applicant come back with the screening plan and some more information on the trees?
Yeah,
Those
sure.
are really the open issues here.
I'd like to see that.
Yep, same here.
All right, so Alyssa, do that.
Okay,
Look at which trees have to come out, which trees are going to remain. If trees are going to remain that are near the area of disturbance, how are you going to protect them? And then, mitigation plan for the tree removal and some screening to 242 Bedford Banksville. And then I think we'll be in good shape.
okay, and just to touch on it again, because it got cut off a little bit. Typically, you guys like to see an equal replacement for everything that we're removing in regards to the tree?
If you can, right?
Okay.
So, we don't need, or want you to plant new trees in woods, but if there's an opportunity on the site to do that, yes.
Okay, great, good to know. Okay, so trees and screening. Okay, great.
Okay, so address those, resubmit to the RPRC, and then we'll put you on that next agenda to close this out.
Okay, great. I
Okay.
appreciate your help and have a great day. Thank you.
Take care. All right, let me just make some notes. Okay, let's move on to 40 Green Valley. Okay, we're ready for 40 Green Valley. We have Kathleen here, right? And Greg,
Good morning.
good morning.
How are you?
Morning. Thank you
Good.
very much. My name is Kathleen Gallagher. I'm with Insight Engineering, Surveying, and Landscape Architecture. And Greg, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Well, Adam knows me. It was Greg
Yes.
Altschuler.
Yep.
How you doing?
Good, good.
Wonderful. So I will share my screen.
Thank you.
So the project being submitted to you is 40 Green Valley. This project was presented to the Residential Project Review Committee in December of 2017, so a little bit ago. At that time, we went through a full process where we were in front of the Conservation Board and worked very closely with them on mitigation for the site. We also received an administrative wetland permit and an approval from the Westchester County Department of Health. A building permit was pulled in January 19th of 2021. And not a lot of construction has started by this point. But during that time period, the owners changed. And that is why we are here today, because the new owners would like to submit a slightly revised version of the previous plans. The same basic components of the site are the same. It's still the renovation, the demolition and renovation of a 5-bedroom home. So to review ourselves of the existing site conditions, is there's an existing 2-story building on site. There is a driveway that comes up from a curb cut in the cul-de-sac that has a little loop around. This is all old asphalt driveway. The house sits higher on the property. So the high side of the property is to the top of the sheet and the north side of the property is to the bottom of the sheet. There are some old boulder walls, some steps that are in pretty poor condition. And then the main feature of the site, which has dictated the way that we've approached the planning, is that there is a stream on the left-hand side of your drawing. So when we're looking at the project, left is to the north, to the upper right-hand corner of the sheet is to the south. So what we show on the property is we do have the 100-foot Town of North Castle wetland buffer plan, a wetland buffer, which has really kind of dictated the way that we've approached the project revisions both previously and now. I'm actually going to skip to the proposed plan. So what we did is we were able to remove the curb cut and relocate it to the right side of the sheet. This was in order to get a better driveway grade, because as you had seen on the previous plan, the existing conditions, it's a pretty steep site. And we wanted to make sure that we were providing a driveway that made the most sense, both for the owners as well as UPS trucks, things like that, anyone that would need to access the property. We are holding, what we've done is we've shown the existing conditions behind the proposed conditions. We are holding this stream side limit of the existing house and making sure that the new residence does not go further towards the stream. So although the existing home is within that wetland buffer, the proposed home is not further encroaching into the wetland buffer, and anything that's being expanded then is being expanded on the other side of the property. We worked very closely with the Conservation Board in order to create a pretty substantial mitigation plan. We are keeping as many trees as we can on the site, but obviously there is a substantial amount of trees that have to be removed in order for us to put in a new septic system. We plan on reusing the existing well that is on site. One of the big changes from the previous version, the 2017 plans to these plans, is the Westchester County Department of Health regulations have been updated in our favor in the way that the regulations doesn't require as big of a septic system as it previously had. So we actually have a slight decrease in impervious surface than we did on the last submission, and that is because of the reduction of the septic area and the physical space that is required for it in order to meet the regulations. If we go to our grading plan, you can see the site has some pretty substantial grades. We're able to keep this driveway under I believe 12% slope in order to accommodate the grades. We are pitching into a stormwater swale that then gets collected into a detention tank, which eventually then connects to the existing catch basin that's located in the road. We are adjusting the grades and accommodating them by several walls that are on site. These are 4-foot maximum height walls. We do have an existing wall that's on the right side of the home, which does have some steeper grades in this area, and we'll be able to kind of mesh into what's there. So I know that we've been talking about, it's always an interest, it's always a question about the height of walls. We are keeping it to 4 feet in these areas, and then we're transitioning into with a little bit of a higher, it's around 6 feet of grade change in this area. And then just as a friendly reminder from a mitigation purposes, because we are in the wetland area, we do have a 2-to-1 mitigation. We are taking, if you've been able to visit the site, you're actually here during garlic mustard season, which is probably easy to see throughout the property. There is a full-fledged invasive species eradication notes and plans that per the code does need to be monitored for 5 years. That was included in the previous drawings. It will continue to be included in these drawings. And if there are any other questions to the site plan, I'm happy to answer them. If not, I'll let Greg walk through the architectural plans.
Yeah, let Greg do that, and then we'll circle back to see if there are any questions.
Great. So thank you, Kathleen. I'm going to try to share my screen, but I had a problem before, so let me just try.
I have the plans too, if that makes it easier.
Okay, let me not try. Okay, can you continue sharing, please?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's just go to the, I think we should just go to the renderings first, which is at the back. So we're proposing, 5-bedroom modern home, which is in keeping with the neighborhood character. I mean, most of it was developed in the 60s and has our neighbor and even the house prior in the property was generally modern.
Mhm.
So it's about 4,000 square feet above the basement and the garage. And it basically works within different levels of grading. I mean, we generally have 3 levels of grading here, as Kathleen mentioned. We have a forecourt, which is a automotive court where garage is located and entrance to the basement. We have an entrance level where we have 2 terraces. Kathleen, can we go to the first floor plan? Let's just go through the plans so it's easier to understand. So yeah, let's go to the basement plan first. So as I mentioned, we have a 3-car garage and about 1,500 square foot basement here. Above it, we have Kathleen, first level, please. Entry level? No. That one. Thank you. This is an entry level where we have a guest suite as well as rest of a public area and access to 2 terraces on both sides. The one at the top is facing the living space, and the one in the back is connected to a family room and a kitchen. And then upper level, Kathleen, please, upper level, that right there shows a master suite and 3 additional bedrooms. Master suite has an access to upper level of a site. So as you can see, section for a second, please. Can you just come right there? So it kind of illustrates where we are. You could see how we have to deal with different levels of existing site and how the house takes advantage of connecting to the outside.
And that's one of my comments, Greg. You got to show the maximum exterior wall height and building height and number of stories, right? That's all defined in the code, and it's not clear whether you meet those requirements or not. So
we will mention, we do meet those requirements, but we'll show it.
yeah, you have to show it.
Absolutely.
I'm
yeah.
glad you looked at it. So you know.
Yes.
So yeah,
But
show us.
we'll absolutely show. I just realized when I looked at it that actually that's one piece which we missed. Yes, absolutely. But they do meet the requirements, zoning requirements.
Great. Sue, do you have any comments about the architecture, ARB?
I want to see the materials.
Yeah, we're using clapboard here throughout. Can we go back to Kathleen? Can we go back to, I guess, renderings kind of show you. So this is just different kinds of clapboard, but it's all either white or dark clapboard.
Is it black? Is it charcoal?
It's a charcoal in color, the lower portion.
I think the house is gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's really a beautiful house.
And Kathleen, can you go back to the site plan? Yes, perfect. So, normally, we'd be concerned where the front of the house and how it's facing the road. I think here we're at the end of the cul-de-sac. You have a significant grade change. I'm not all that concerned with how this is laid out. It's unusual, or not traditional, but I think it works here. I don't have any significant concerns. The overall site plan looks good. I don't really have any significant concerns here. Talking about the landscape plan, I think we could do a better job screening this property from the southern neighbor. That is pretty open.
We can do some green giants there if that's what you guys prefer.
Yeah, it does not need to be green giants. Maybe something a bit more naturalistic would be more appropriate. But you've got you've got some views out that way, and you might want to screen that neighbor.
Okay, we'll consider it for sure.
So is there any difference? This is Andy Block from the Conservation Board. Are there any changes to the mitigation plan? I take it from what you presented that there aren't, but I just want to make sure. from what was
Correct.
Previously.
There are not. So our disturbance within the wetland buffer is remaining the same. The extent of invasive species removal is remaining the same. And our planting plan and mitigation is remaining the same. So the only thing, so everything is staying the same, but even those base calculations have not increased.
Okay, and can you just go down to the tree removal? I think it was the next.
But there's no new proposed tree removal, correct? Whatever is down at this point.
So we have an active building permit, which means we have an active tree removal permit. And there are no additional trees proposed to be removed as part of this plan.
And it was a while ago and I can't remember what was being done in terms of replanting of trees or if that was taken up in the wetland mitigation piece.
The site is really steep. So from a tree planting consideration, it was much more difficult to replace with trees. So the compromise that we made was that we would do some additional invasive species removal, and that we would plant out the steep hill that has to be basically created in order for us to get the driveway to work, instead of just making that some sort of monochromatic, erosion stabilization, that we were able to plant that with native species and kind of incorporate it more into the plans. And we worked pretty closely with the Conservation Board at that time for that list. We were in front of them several times. It was not just one meeting. I do remember it being at least two, if not three meetings, in order to get to the place where everybody was comfortable with the plan. But as was
and I actually participated and did sidewalks there, and I guess there's been a little bit since that was some number of years ago. There's been a little bit more focus on or sensitivity to tree removal and replantings. And I totally remember the site and understand, but it may be that some of the screening that Adam mentioned would also be responsive to the increased sensitivity that we've had about tree removal. So we'll be interested to see what you come back with. I think that'd be great.
I think that's a good compromise, and actually the septic system being reduced will lend itself to the ability to adapt to that. One of the reasons that the views are so open to the south is because the septic system was much larger in the previous plans. So now that we were able to kind of reduce it in this area, we can potentially infill that with some trees and be able to provide some of that screening that was suggested.
Okay, I think that'd be great to see. And I guess for the group here, this is a large project for RPRC, at least in my experience, in terms of what we've been approving. Are we comfortable with approving it here? Is this planning to, Adam, what's the next step here?
Yeah, look, we already have an active building permit here, and we approved a house, and it's similar in impacts. So I'm comfortable moving this forward via the RPRC. We have to hear from the rest of the committee. I wouldn't object if the committee could go to the building department and, submit the screening and replanting plan to staff, but that's a conversation for the whole committee, and Andy, for you to chime in on as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I mean, you will be back in 2 weeks if they can just present that and we can give it the thumbs up, or whoever the Conservation Board person in 2 weeks will be can chime in on it. And then in terms of if it's appropriate for RPRC, I'm just raising the question. I don't really feel strongly one way or the other.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Adam. I mean, this has been around for a while. It's gone through a lot of review. I think it's okay at this level of, because of the history and everything that's been done to date.
Yeah, and it's been, this property has been not functioning for years. It would be nice to get something built here.
And our office has done a complete review on this back 2 or 3 years ago. And the design of the driveway really improves the access.
Yes.
And the design of the house is just fabulous. I mean, to have somebody design a house that works with the topography and fits into the site is just nice to have, you wish it happened more often. So I think they did a really great job on this plan.
Yeah. So does anyone want to make a motion or are we having them come back? We need to see where
So let me ask the applicant. I mean, I'd be interested in just seeing the screening plan with the new tree plantings. Is that going to cause a problem for them timing wise?
You
Well,
say you meet every 2 weeks?
Well, they also have comments to address of ours.
Oh, okay.
When they submit on our comments, we can, if the board wants to move it forward, we can just forward it over to you, Andy, for your comments as they go through the permit process with the building department.
Adam, does that?
No, that works. I don't see. I don't see this as it's an issue. It's an issue I can see the applicant being able to readily address. So
That's
I'm
fine then.
fine with
Sure.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that sounds appropriate. Yeah, if during the building permit process, it gets referred to Andy and you can look at the trees we're proposing and things like that. And if you have any comments, yeah, we're happy to, adjust as necessary. And
Right. And it's not to Andy. I would say just the conservation board to take
Okay.
a look at. That'd be great.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
I
All right. Great. Good job, everyone. Greg and Kathleen, I meant. It's a nice project.
so
Thanks,
just to
Adam.
be,
Appreciate it.
so just to be clear, our next step is to submit to the building department.
Yes, what we're going to do is post the determination letter. That's going to include all of my comments and John Kellard's comments. So you'll address those comments and submit to the building department. The building department will then send it to John and myself to make sure those conditions are addressed prior to the issuance of the building permit.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Great,
I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Sorry, Adam, and you're going to loop in the conservation board just to
Yes.
take a look.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yep. Will do.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Take
Thank you
care.
very much.
Okay. We're gonna move on to 26 Chestnut Ridge Road. All right, Rick, how are you?
Good, Adam. How you doing?
All right. So you're back to discuss 26 Chestnut Ridge Road.
Yes, sir.
For Larry. Larry, this was on our recent planning board agenda. This is where the fill was brought onto the site. And we had some issues with that, and the applicant's working that out with the planning board. I'm guessing that the property owners are anxious to finish their patio. So what they want to do is have a discussion with the RPRC whether or not they're comfortable separating the patio from the fill issue. And I guess Rick's here to make that argument, take us through it and see how, if that's possible.
So really the biggest concern when we were in front of the planning board was just the condition of the soil and just whether it was, okay for residential use. So what was requested of us was just to retest the soil. We had tested it from the borrow lot and retested again. And just this is the first time I've had to do it. The client has done this. So we were just unsure of the timing of getting the results back for the soil. So just to keep momentum going, the client expressed interest in kind of separating the fill portion of the project from the patio portion of the project.
Yeah. And I think,
And just real quick too, just since the RPRC last had seen this, we were also proposing grading in the front yard, which we have eliminated. We haven't done that. We're not planning on doing that. And we've addressed some of the stormwater comments. We've had the soils tested. We had a representative from Kellard Sessions out just to view the depths of groundwater and rock in the areas that we're proposing our stormwater. And just, we're outletting the stormwater system instead of along the property line towards the back of the property now. So we just wanted to, address a lot of the stormwater comments.
yeah, I think the biggest concern was whether or not the patio is going to be on any fill, right? We can't have the situation where they're overlapping essentially. Here, let me pull up your plan so we can see what we're talking about.
Yep.
I thought you had a plan.
So I could bring up Adam just because,
Or if you have it, yeah.
well, it's just the plan that we submitted doesn't show any of the, I'll call it, proposed grading, but the grading that the fill had been brought in.
Yeah, pull it up so we can go over it.
Yeah, I'll bring it. It's just from the
And I
previous
really would like
submission.
to hear from John Kellard, what his concerns, comments are, thoughts.
My only concern is probably more of a legal question. They're in front of the planning board with an application, which includes what they're asking the RPRC to separate and take from the planning board. So how do you have an application before the planning board and this
Yeah, it's an
extract this
unusual-
part of the application and handle it through just a building permit?
Yeah, I guess that
Something
technically,
that doesn't taste good about that.
yeah, understood. I mean, I think what they would need to do is obviously revise the planning board application, right, to not include the patio if the RPRC thinks this is viable.
Have we answered the question, is the patio on fill or not?
Yeah, see, I can't, it may be, right? What is,
So the red lines are the proposed grading, and that's the extent of the patio area. So it wouldn't be on, if it was on any fill, it wouldn't be any significant amount of fill. I mean, it's tough to tell if you're on site,
yeah.
because
I mean,
the
it could
area
be a
has
couple
been.
feet of fill, right? It's hard to tell.
Did you test the fill already? Did you take your samples and send them
Yeah.
to the lab?
And we actually just got the results back a couple of days ago, and
Oh.
everything looks good.
Oh, well then.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't sure if you guys wanted to, if I present that, because I didn't submit it, obviously.
But I think it goes to John's point. Then why don't we just wrap this up?
Just go back to the planning board.
Yeah,
Like if
with
you're ready
everything.
to come back, then let's.
Yes.
Why are we making this more complicated?
Okay.
Right? So you've got the major issue with the planning board was they wanted you to test the on-site soil.
Yep.
And you didn't know how long it was going to take. So I understood why, you might not want to wait months and have this unfinished patio. But if you're ready to come back, what are we gaining?
Yeah, we are ready to come back. So if you think
Yeah.
that's the way to go, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
why do, yeah.
Okay.
and Adam, we don't need a hearing in the planning board, do we?
Yes.
Oh, we do need a hearing?
A neighbor notification.
Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
that could be done in one meeting?
Yeah, it's usually, but even if, the fill permit itself would have needed that. It's not the patio that's the
Yeah,
trick.
yeah,
Yep.
So it has to happen,
yeah.
Oh,
What if
I definitely think, Rick, if you're ready to come back, just come back. We'll deal with everything at once. It's much cleaner.
That sounds good to me.
Bill was
Clean is
brought in?
good. It was about 1,500 cubic yards.
What was the address again?
26 Chestnut Ridge Road.
And that was all brought in illegally? This is a legalization?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, this came from you, Rob.
Did it?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm guessing this was a complaint and then you went out and solved this.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. 26 Chestnut.
Yeah.
I've got so many fill applications going on right now. Come on, open up.
You know, Rick, when you send the test results back, can you provide an explanation of how it relates to the, I guess, the DEC standards for fill on residential properties?
Absolutely. And obviously the last soils testing didn't, and I tried to, go online and try to figure that out and try and analyze it myself, and I couldn't even figure it out. So
Yeah.
I'd much rather get it from the professional that's doing the analysis than me
Good.
trying to.
Yes,
Great.
that's really
Because
important.
it'll help the planning board.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right, so are we set? Rob, you're okay?
Yeah.
All right, so then let's just continue this and wrap it up at the planning board. I think it just, it's much easier.
Sounds like a plan. And Adam, you mentioned the neighbor notification. Is that on us? Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yes. Mhm. We're gonna send you the content, and then you'll
Right.
arrange to get that mailed. It doesn't need to be published.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Sure, take care.
Take care.
Okay, next is 43 Woodcrest Drive. Let me pull that up.
I just got to step out for a second.
Okay. Okay, so let me share my screen and get my paper. Okay, so what we were talking about, new deck and patio at 43 Woodcrest. And new siding, which we're not really looking at. Okay, so what we have is an existing deck at the. I can't scroll. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, new deck at the side and rear of the house. There's an existing deck there that's going to be replaced. In general, I don't have any major concerns with what's being proposed here. So this is this is the side of the house. This is the rear. Here's the rear elevation. Any thoughts or concerns from the committee here?
Not at all.
So when this came in, it showed a zoning issue with the deck. That's because this lot is part of a conservation subdivision, and all of the lots were built with the R1A standards on Woodcrest. So the deck actually does comply with the zoning requirements. So we'll have them revise their plan to note that while it's in the R2A district, this lot is part of a conservation subdivision. As part of the approved conservation subdivision, they need to meet the R1A standards. And once that is all noted, they won't need a variance. So is everyone okay with this? If so, I'll make a motion to send this to the building department.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Next. right. Jonathan, I think you're here for 12 Freedom. If so, let us know. Jonathan? Ah, there we go. All right, Jonathan, you're muted.
All right, I'm getting there. Hold on.
All right, glad you got here. Are you here for 12 Freedom?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
You can
great.
hear me now? Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Yep,
good.
we hear you, see you. Yep. All right,
How's everybody
so
doing?
good. Do you have the plans? You want me to pull them up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the first time doing this one, so I didn't PDF them, and I could share my screen, but it'll take me a minute unless you
No,
want
I've got it right here. Don't worry
to.
about
Okay,
it.
perfect.
Why
By the
don't
time
you
I
just
pull 'em
start?
out.
I just lost my mouse, but why don't you just tell the committee what you're proposing? And then I'll get this
Yes.
squared away.
Jonathan Villani, representing Annunziata and Villani Design Consultants. We are doing a renovation for our client, Chris Di Benedetto at 12 Freedom Road. It's an interesting project because it's I'm
Oh,
designing
there
the
we go.
first.
This is
Yeah.
really what we need to see. Yeah.
Yeah, a little interesting because it's the first time I had a client do a half modular on me. I either usually do full modular or full full
Yeah.
custom.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever come across it either. But why not? If it works. All right, I think Jonathan froze on us, but you get the gist of what he's proposing here, which is it's an existing single-story ranch, and they're proposing to go up above it. And you can see the existing street view in the top right, Sue, in particular, and what they're proposing. Any thoughts or on this?
The window on the first floor on the right is a single, and I'd like to see a double
Okay.
because
Can everybody hear me now?
Oh, yeah, now you're back. So Sue was just talking about
Yeah, I'm sorry.
the first floor lower right window existing.
it's the only one of its size.
This one is what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. So she's saying make this double to match the others.
That's not a problem at all. Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we heard you. Yeah.
I'm getting worried. I'm thinking of freezing every time. Every time nobody answers.
Single car garage?
I'm sorry.
It is
It's a
single. Yeah.
Single car garage. Yes.
You don't see those very often anymore.
Yeah, it's existing. He just doesn't want to branch over to doing a new foundation on that side.
Any thoughts or concerns? I think it's a neat project, clean.
What are the materials?
It'll be stone veneer as it is on the front. If you look at the photo, we're trying to keep that stone veneer there. And it'll be vinyl siding, but it'll be a colored vinyl siding and the thicker, better vinyl siding that they have now. Wider.
What is the color?
I think they're looking at a light gray with black shutters,
And the roof?
asphalt shingles, charcoal.
Okay.
You're good, Sue?
And the color of the front door?
He hasn't told me what he's thinking of doing, but it's either going to be black or probably black or I've seen people do a red or blue. I think it's a decision we'll make once we see the entirety of the stone and vinyl mix.
And the trim?
White.
Okay. I'm okay with it, Adam.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to send this to the building department.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, next 8 Sterling. Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl, you with us? Give her a minute to get on here. All right, well, we'll see if she,
Sorry.
oh, there you are. Okay.
I got up for 1 second.
Of course, right?
Of course.
All right, well, you're up. Do you have the plans? You want to just take the committee through what you're proposing?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's share my screen here.
And it's nice. You did a great job, in my opinion, here.
Thank you. Okay. Can you see my concept plan, everyone?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so just to kind of, excuse me, Adam, were you the only one that did the site visit?
I don't know if John went out there. I doubt the committee members did, but I was out there.
Okay, so I'll just kind of go over existing conditions real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So obviously house is existing. There's an existing covered porch with a concrete patio that goes out to this section here. And then they have an existing kind of freestanding grill right here that's hooked up to.
Cheryl, do you happen to have an aerial of what's out there? If not, I have it and I could just show them quick.
I think it's.
Yeah, there, yeah.
Let's see.
Actually, is that the old house or is that?
Yes, actually, I don't have.
I've got the new house. So let me
Oh, you
just,
do?
I'll share my screen for a sec and then you can pop back on.
Thank you.
So this is what we're talking about, right? This
Oh,
house was redeveloped a few years ago. So you can see this is the existing patio at the rear. So what the homeowners and Cheryl is coming up with is just really to dress this up and make it look a little bit more attractive than it is today. So we'll go back to her plan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now in this existing patio space, they don't really have enough room for a table. So we're just proposing to extend it out a bit to give them a little bit of room to place a table. And then they have an existing freestanding grill right here that's hooked to the gas line. So we're just proposing to do a built-in grill in this area. And as you kind of come over to this area, creating an actual like masonry fire pit. Right now in this area, they have a solo stove. So again, we're just trying to make it have a little bit more function in this back area because they have just all lawn. And we're proposing 2-foot high retaining walls, again, just to kind of make this space a little bit more flat and this area more level as well. And for some reason, it wants to go through. And then over here, we are proposing to rework the existing stepstones and add a few additional just so that we have a clear path to the driveway as well as down to this basement egress.
Yeah. I think it looks great. Any concerns from the committee?
Great.
No.
Okay, so I think the only real issue, John, is do they need to do anything with stormwater, or is there enough extra capacity from when the house was redeveloped or that they could just tie into that stormwater system?
Yeah, they need to address the stormwater.
Yeah.
But I went back and looked at the previous application, and I believe there's a half a dry well that's still available that they put in extra.
Yeah.
So I think they just have to collect it and discharge it to the existing infiltration system.
That's easy. Good.
They
Yeah,
just have
that's
to-
easy.
they just have to run. Excuse me?
Oh, I was just saying that's easy enough. We can.
Yeah, you just have to
take
run the
care of that.
numbers and show us that you have the capacity there.
Okay, yeah, because most of like this area here and this area in here is all gravel.
Oh,
The
good.
only hardscaping is this extension here and then the banding. So,
Okay,
Good.
so I'll make a motion to send this to the building department.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, all right, so Cheryl, we'll post our comments and then you can apply to the building department and with, and address those in your plans to them, okay?
all right, sounds great. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care.
Thank you too.
Hey, Adam, were there supposed to be minutes to approve?
Yes, but I don't think Val sent them out, so we can't approve them. I think there'll be actually a long list that she's gonna send out, and we'll do it at the next meeting, but thank you for bringing it up, Andy. So that's it for the agenda. Thank you, everyone, and appreciate the time that you dedicated to this. Have a great day.
Okay,
Aye, everybody.
Thank
I know.
you. Bye, everybody.